My parents never caught me cursing. That's partly because I was 8 and I didn't know a lot of swear words. But I knew some. We just weren't allowed to use them. You see, my father was a young doctor raising a family with 4 boys, and he wanted his kids to shine. He wanted them well-mannered, well-spoken, and well-dressed, and that meant no cursing. Now, when I was really mad or frustrated with my parents, I would fling myself onto my pillow in bed, tears wetting the pillowcase, and I would scream every curse word that I knew. Crap! Damn! Piss! Goddamn! Which is different. I hate you! Crap! And if I was really upset, I'd say the big one. S-H-I-T was the big one. But I would scream it into my pillow, and my parents would never catch me. Now, one summer afternoon in 1976, my brothers and I were out in the backyard with my parents, and we were running around and causing all form of chaos. And I don't know why I did it. I wasn't angry at him. I think I just wanted to do the experiment. My parents said that if they ever caught us cursing, they would wash our mouths out with soap. And that begged for me the question, exactly what kind of soap do you use when you wash out a mouth? And do you use a washcloth or a scrub brush? So I grabbed my brother Matthew. Hey, Matt, go up to Mom and say shit. No. No, really, she'll think it's funny. No, you do it. No, because you're always the good one. Go up to her and say shit. And the relentless peer pressure led my 7-year-old brother, his Jew fro glowing in the summer sunshine, to walk up to my mother and look up at her and go, "Hey, Ma, shit." And she literally reached down and grabbed him by the arm and dragged him into the house. And the next time we saw him, he was sitting on the toilet with a bar of Dial soap in his mouth, at which I observed, no washcloth. Now, that summer, my mother had just given birth to her 4th child, and at that point, she called in Harriet for assistance. Harriet Williams had been in our extended family for a long time. She had been there as my grandmother's housekeeper when my mother was a child in the late 1940s. Harriet was a 60-year-old black woman with a Southern accent, and whenever there was a new grandchild, she would come on up to help with the baby. And she would show up in a starched white polyester nurse's uniform, white stockings over black legs, white shoes, white nurse's hat. I had no idea that along the way she had somehow become a nurse, but that's how she showed up. And she would be there to cook and clean and help with the kids and maintain the chaos every day, except for the 2 hours in the middle of the day when she would stop for My Stories, which was One Life to Live and General Hospital. But I loved Harriet. We loved Harriet. I loved her voice. I loved the way that she called me Sammy. I loved the smell of spray starch and pine sol that seemed to permeate the house whenever she was around. Now, that summer, my parents had sent me off to day camp for the very first time, and I was exposed to a whole new crop of kids, and I was learning a whole new bunch of swear words. And I would come home at the end of the day, and my brothers and I would play in the late afternoon. And one afternoon, I had gotten home from my camp, and I was out in the backyard playing hide-and-go-seek with my brothers. They were hiding, and I was seeking. And we had a big backyard at the end of the cul-de-sac. So they hid, and I counted loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not, you. And then I said a word. A word that I should have never said. Ready or not, you. And I said that word again. I'm coming to catch all of you. And I said the word again. At the end of the evening, we went in the house, we had dinner. My father came home from work, and we got ready, we went to bed. And my father came upstairs at the end of the evening, and he said to me, "Exactly what did you say when you were playing hide and seek with your brothers?" And I began to feel the nervous anticipation of the accused. I don't know, nothing. What word did you call your brothers when you were chasing them? And I thought about this for a minute, and I knew I had done something wrong, but I didn't know what. And so I told him the word, because it wasn't a curse word, right? And the look on my father's face was shocked and sad and ashamed, because Harriet had heard me. And my father had a lightning quick temper, but instead of yelling, he explained to me, and he told me what that word meant, and he told me how it had been used, and he told me how it had hurt Harriet. And that realization that I had hurt Harriet lacerated me worse than any slap or lecture or bar of soap ever could have. I cried into my pillow that night, but I didn't curse. I didn't scream, and I didn't swear. Thank you.